The parliament, made up of elected representatives of the people, decides on all the important issues of our lives. As the classic author would say, the will of parliament is the will of people. In our country, parliament has a history of over 150 years. It underwent a lot of changes during this time before it was established in the form we know today. As early as the 19th century, when Czech lands were still a part of the Habsburg monarchy, parliamentary elections were held in which members of the Bohemian Diet and Imperial Council were elected. Since 1861, the Bohemian Diet was based in Prague, in a palace which is now home to the Chamber of Deputies. The Moravian Diet was based in Brno and the Silesian Diet in Opava. Czech deputies, as with deputies of the other parts of the realm, had to come to Vienna to the Imperial Council meetings. However, only a limited number of voters took part in elections at that time. Nonetheless, the existence of parliament was already very important at the time, as elected representatives passed laws and commented on how ministers ruled. After the establishment of the Czech Republic in 1918, deputies and senators were elected to the National Assembly. Parliament was made up of members voted for in elections in which all men and women took part, regardless of wealth and education. The right to vote was therefore universal and equal. At the time of the First Czechoslovak Republic, Parliament had a similar status and powers as it does today. In addition, both parliamentary chambers elected the President of the Republic. Until 1935, this position was held by Tomáš Garrigue Masaryk. During World War II and the subsequent communist regime, the influence of Parliament was significantly reduced. Although citizens went to the polls regularly, they were not allowed to truly choose from a wider range of political parties. A significant change did not occur until the Velvet Revolution. After many decades, the first free parliamentary elections took place in June 1990. The Czech Republic is a democratic state governed by the rule of law. The source of all state power is the people who elect their representatives to the bicameral parliament formed by the Chamber of Deputies and the Senate. The Chamber of Deputies, referred to as the lower parliamentary chamber, has 200 deputies who are elected for a term of 4 years. In contrast, the Senate has 81 senators elected for a 6-year term. In addition to Parliament, the Constitution also gives an important role to the government, the President, and independent courts. Let me now explain how the elections to both parliamentary chambers take place. Every citizen of the Czech Republic over the age of 18 has the right to vote. They can therefore participate in various elections to municipal and regional councils, to the European Parliament, or to both parliamentary chambers. The right to vote is universal, equal, and direct. Voting always takes place in secret, so that each voter can freely decide which group of candidates to support. Elections to the Chamber of Deputies are conducted according to the principles of so-called proportional representation. Voters therefore decide to support a group of candidates submitted by a political party or movement in each region. In contrast, Senate elections are based on the principle of a 2-round majoritarian system. The whole republic is thus divided into 81 constituencies, in each of which a single senator is always elected. The government, which consists of the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Ministers, and Ministers, is appointed by the President of the Republic. However, it is accountable to the Chamber of Deputies throughout its reign. Without the trust of deputies, the government cannot perform its function. Deputies can also ask members of the government various questions, called interpellations. The Chamber of Deputies may even express no confidence in the government. In such a case, the government must resign and the President appoints a new government. Discussing and passing laws takes deputies the most time. In one four-year term of the Chamber of Deputies, more than 600 bills are usually submitted. Each such proposal is discussed 3 times at the joint meeting of all members. However, the bills are dealt with in detail by parliamentary committees, of which there are now 18 in the Chamber of Deputies. To pass a bill, it is necessary to approve it by a simple majority of all deputies present. They usually vote electronically, so every citizen can find out on a website how a member of parliament has voted for a particular bill. Parliament also performs several other functions. Senators, for example, agree the appointment of judges of the Constitutional Court. Deputies, on the other hand, discuss one of the most important laws every year, the state budget. It decides how much money the government will have for road construction and repairs, how much for military and police equipment, how much for teachers' or doctors' salaries, or how big the pensions of our fellow senior citizens will be. In short, Parliament tackles everyday problems in our country that are important to each of us. And thanks to the fact that we elect our own representatives to the Parliament in free and democratic elections, we always have the opportunity to decide for ourselves who should be our deputy or senator.